Corregidor, known as the Rock. In 1945, this tiny, tadpole-shaped island was a Japanese death trap, a fortress of jagged stone and 500-foot cliffs guarding the entrance to Manila Bay. The world expected a bloody beach landing. The Japanese defenders were dug deep into the Malinta Tunnel, their heavy guns pointed down at the surf, waiting for an invasion that would never come from the sea. But the 503rd Parachute Infantry had a different plan. Instead of fighting their way up those lethal cliffs, they decided to fall from the sky. Their target, a pair of tiny, rocky parade grounds on the island. As high as Point Area, so small, the Japanese thought a mass jump was physically impossible. On February 16, 1945, the gamble began. Engines roared as the transport planes swept in low. Then, the jump. But nature had its own ideas. Winds whipped across the cliffs, turning the mission into a nightmare. Paratroopers were blown off the heights, some disappearing into the shark-petrolled ocean, others slamming into the ruins of topside at breakneck speeds. Yet through the chaos, they kept coming. The Japanese were caught in a total vertical ambush. They were looking down at the beaches, never expecting an army to land directly on their heads. What followed was 11 days of some of the most brutal close-quarters fighting of the Pacific War. The defenders fought to the last man, even detonating their own ammunition dumps in a final act of defiance. But the 503rd held their ground. By the time the smoke cleared, the Gibraltar of the East was back in Allied hands. The daring assault didn't just retake a fortress that earned the 503rd their legendary nickname, the Rock Regiment. It remains one of the most dangerous and successful parachute drops in military history. Fortune favors the bold.